My dear compatriots, members of government, representatives of the African Union, respected partners, and the international community, today I address you at a moment of great consequence, a moment when the dignity of our nation and the sovereignty of our people are once again being tested by the institutions that claim to represent international justice. A few days ago, the International Court of Justice, sitting in The Hague, announced that I, President Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso, am to be held personally responsible in a case fabricated around alleged gold mine irregularities. They have imposed upon me, and by extension upon our nation, a fine of $1 billion. I reject this decision entirely, unequivocally, and with the full conviction of a leader who stands by truth, by integrity, and by the will of his people. Let me state clearly, these accusations are false, politically motivated, and strategically designed to weaken Burkina Faso at a time when our country is finally rising from decades of exploitation. The so-called investigation speaks of gold mine theft, of diverted revenues, and of illegal contracts, but no evidence, I repeat, no credible evidence, has been presented to justify such a serious charge. Instead, what we have seen is a coordinated campaign of disinformation, led by actors who fear the example Burkina Faso is setting for the African continent, an example of independence, resource control, and defiance of external domination. We have reclaimed our gold, our land, and our dignity, and that, my brothers and sisters, is the real reason they seek to punish us. The International Court of Justice was created to uphold the principles of fairness, impartiality, and respect for the sovereignty of nations. But today, it has become an instrument manipulated by certain powerful states, states that have long viewed Africa as a resource reservoir rather than a continent of equals. How can a court claim neutrality when its most influential members are the same powers that have exploited our minerals, destabilized our governments, and financed conflicts to keep us weak? How can a body that turns a blind eye to war crimes in certain regions suddenly awaken to accuse Burkina Faso, a small but proud nation, of crimes that do not exist? I say this with respect, but also with firmness. The International Court has allowed itself to become a political weapon, not a pillar of justice. Make no mistake, this case is not about justice, it is about punishment. It is about silencing a voice that refuses to bow. It is about sending a message to other African leaders. Do not rise, do not challenge, do not reclaim what was stolen from you. The conspiracy is larger than Burkina Faso. It involves multinational corporations that lost control over our gold mining operations when we decided to nationalize them in favor of our people. It involves financial institutions that cannot tolerate an African government refusing to kneel before debt and conditional aid. And yes, it involves certain Western powers, notably the United States, who continue to see Africa as their chessboard. They have used their influence in international institutions to fabricate a narrative, to paint me as a criminal, rather than as a patriot, defending his people's wealth. But we see through the mask, and we will not be intimidated. Let me remind the world of a simple truth. Burkina Faso belongs to Burkinabe. Our gold is not the property of foreign investors. Our land is not for sale. Our sovereignty is not negotiable. Every reform we have undertaken in the mining sector has been in strict accordance with our laws and with international norms. We have demanded transparency, accountability, and local participation. We have ensured that revenues from gold extraction benefit our people, building schools, hospitals, and infrastructure that serve the nation, not foreign shareholders. If that is considered a crime by the ICJ, then it is the world's sense of justice that must be judged, not mine. To the $1 billion fine, I respond with one word: rejection. We will not pay a single franc to satisfy an unjust ruling. We will not divert funds from our people's needs to appease those who seek to exploit us once again. This so-called penalty is not only excessive, it is immoral. I have instructed our legal team to prepare a formal appeal before the African Court on Human and People's Rights and to raise this issue before the African Union and the ECOWAS legal committees. We will challenge it, not just in court, but in the court of public opinion, where truth, not money, is the measure of justice. To the President of the International Court of Justice, I speak directly, with respect but without fear. You have chosen to stand with those who seek to dominate, rather than those who seek equality. You have allowed politics to poison the well of justice. I invite you not as an adversary, but as a man facing another man to review this case in the light of transparency. Come to Burkina Faso, see with your own eyes what we have built, how we have managed our resources, how we have fought corruption and restored hope, If justice truly matters to you, then you will see that the truth stands with us, not against us. But if you continue to serve the interests of those who profit from our suffering, then know this: Burkina Faso will not kneel. We will stand tall, even if we stand alone. This is not only my battle, this is Africa's battle. For too long, international institutions have operated as if African countries are incapable of self-governance, incapable of managing their own wealth, incapable of defining their own path. They dictate policies, impose sanctions, and now through this fine they attempt to discipline us like a disobedient child. But Africa is no longer a child. Africa is rising, and Burkina Faso will continue to be at the forefront of that rise. I call upon my brothers and sisters from Mali, Niger, Guinea, and across the continent to see in this moment not the persecution of one man, but the test of our collective will. When one African nation is targeted for asserting sovereignty, every African nation must stand in solidarity. Let it also be known that Burkina Faso does not reject the rule of law. We believe in accountability, in good governance, and in transparency. Our fight is not against justice, it is against injustice disguised as legality. We welcome international observers, we welcome collaboration with honest partners, but we will never again accept lectures from those whose histories are written in colonization and resource plunder. Burkina Faso will continue to strengthen its anti-corruption systems, publish transparent mining contracts, and involve local communities in decision-making. That is real justice, justice that empowers, not justice that punishes. My dear compatriots, I ask you not to be discouraged by this attack. We have faced worse: poverty, terrorism, and isolation, yet we remain unbroken. This moment is another trial in our journey toward freedom. Let us remain united. Let us work harder than ever before to show the world that our destiny cannot be dictated from abroad. Every ounce of gold that comes from our soil must serve our people, the farmers, the soldiers, the mothers, the children, who make up the heart of our nation. This fine is not a defeat, it is proof that we are shaking the foundations of an unjust world order. To my fellow leaders across Africa and the global south, I say this: today it is Burkina Faso, tomorrow it could be you. The same mechanisms that punish us for independence are waiting for any leader who dares to act outside the control of foreign interests. It is time for us to build our own mechanisms of arbitration, our own financial institutions, and our own courts of justice that understand our realities, our challenges, and our aspirations. Africa must no longer be judged by those who never wished to see her free. We must cooperate, not as dependent nations, but as partners bound by a shared destiny. The era of submission is over. The era of sovereignty has begun. I know there are nations, organizations, and individuals across the world who believe in fairness and truth. To them I extend my gratitude and my appeal. Stand with justice. Stand with truth. Do not allow the institutions of international law to be hijacked by politics and greed. The credibility of the global justice system depends on its ability to act without bias, to judge with equality, whether the accused is a superpower or a small developing nation. If the world is to move toward genuine peace, then justice must be blind to power and loyal only to truth.